At least today and really for the rest of the work week, Janelle, although it does warm up again over the weekend. So if you're planning your trip to the pumpkin patch or anything like that with the kids, expect that it's going to feel a little more summer-like again by the weekend. Today, though, feels like October is supposed to feel. A beautiful breeze from the north, and temperatures have been dropping all morning. In fact, they are starting to warm back up again right now, but it has been cool and comfortable. We started the day in the 60s and we dropped into the 50s. Our current temps right now, let's take a look at them, 61 degrees in Philadelphia. So brief drop into the 50s. We're back to the 60s now, but it is very comfortable outside. 60 degrees in Wilmington, still some 50s in those north and west suburbs. And as this cool air drains southward, we're going to keep those temperatures at or below average for really the next 3 days. So a fantastic finish to your work week. Let's take you through the forecast. Again, really still tracking the coast as far as coastal impacts from Imelda and Umberto, but no more impacts from either of those storms, at least inland. It's clearing, it's cooling. Bright and sunny with temperatures right about where they should be, and the sun's going to stick around through the weekend as well. Coastal impacts, though, coastal flooding, rough surf, rip currents continue with 2 hurricanes in the Atlantic churning up the water and pushing that water onto land. We're at 72 degrees for the high today. It's a beautiful day, but grab the hoodie. There's a cool breeze, and it's going to stick with us for the next several days. Coming up, I'll tell you about that weekend warm-up and the latest tracks of Umberto and Imelda. I'll send it back to you, Janelle.
Okay, thank you, Kate.
Imelda actually strengthening almost at Umberto's expense. Umberto pulled Imelda away from the East Coast, but now that storm is kind of gathering strength as Umberto continues to weaken. We'll take a look at the track coming up in just a moment. Let's start off with what's happening outside this morning. We'll take you down the shore, and again, October 1st is the day it all ends as far as high surf advisories, rip current statements. September 30th, usually the last day. Our local National Weather Service office issues those kind of warnings because the vacation season has largely ended. So even more important that you just know that the rip current risk is high, the surf is high, and we do have a coastal flood advisory, which I'll show you in just a moment. Right now, though, the bigger story, at least inland, is the return of blue sky, sunshine, and the arrival, finally, of some fall-like weather here in the season of autumn. We haven't had weather like this really since the end of August, when we had that little kind of flirtation with fall in late summer. This morning, we're in the 50s. We've started to warm back up. We were in the 50s in Philadelphia. Now it's 61, 50s in many of our outlying areas down across interior South Jersey, spots like Millville and the Lehigh Valley still in the 50s right now. And you can see that temperature change, that cooler Canadian air moving in. Temps have dropped more than 10 degrees in spots like Bangor and spots like Boston. We're at about 9 degrees departure from this time yesterday, so a big difference out there. And it's definitely a day you may want to grab the hoodie if you're heading outside. Grab the hoodie, 72 degrees, grab the sunglasses as well. Sun glare, any weather-related problem that will hound you on the roadways, so to speak, today. Humidity trend is also telling, because that's what you're really going to feel when you step outside. It has been steamy, more humid than normal really for the past week or so, but the humidity has dropped this morning and it's basically flatlined right through the end of the week. Very, very low humidity, and it just starts to creep up a little bit into next week, but feeling much more comfortable outside as that cool air moves southward. There is a breeze as well. It's going to bring down some leaves today. It's going to start looking like fall as well with the leaves flying around this afternoon, especially farther north of the city where there's a little bit more of that foliage visible. Clouds and radar showing Imelda and Umberto. Now Umberto is weakening and will continue to do so, but because those 2 storms are out there just continually churning up the Atlantic Ocean, we've got a lot of water being piled up along the New Jersey coastline, Delaware beaches, and right up the Delaware Bay into the Delaware River. So coastal flood advisories have been issued for all of our coastal spots along the shoreline, along the bay, and right along the river as well. Along the river, that goes until 1 a.m. The rest of the coastal communities until 8 o'clock tonight. Expect some minor flooding in the traditional spots like the Brooklawn Circle, places where we often see some flooding when we do have high tide and also that influx of water from the ocean. Here's the latest track of Hurricane Imelda, which is strengthening. It's a Category 1 as of the last update at 8 a.m. But look at this. It's expected to become a Category 2 as it likely makes landfall or passes very, very close to the island of Bermuda. The eye of Imelda may end up being the same size as the island of Bermuda. This is a very large storm. Actually, it's growing in size. It was compact and it's starting to expand. And so Bermuda is going to pretty much bear the brunt of this system with hurricane force wind gusts and the threat for storm surge flooding, as well as those large waves battering the island here in the coming days. Something to certainly keep an eye on. As we head through our forecast here at home, we're looking at low 70s, crisp, cool, comfy through the end of the week. But if you're not quite ready for the fall chill just yet, we've got 80s returning over the weekend and into early next week. Janelle, back over to you.
A little bit of everything. Okay, Kate, thank you so much.